Bounce them titties, shake that ass. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to my orbit of this void that we call the internet. My name is Cora J. Well, you special, so you can call me Cora J. I know it's been quite a while since I've been on here, since I've shown face on here. How rude of me. It's been about a month. Okay. But I want to let y'all know I'm Gucci. I'm safe. I'm Tucci. It's not for any um, devastating reason necessarily. Life has just been life, and I've just been focusing on myself in therapy and blah, blah, blah. Which today we're going to touch on that just a little bit. Today I want to talk about this topic of unhealthy empathy and optimism because we want to feel good naturally as humans. Like, we want to feel good, you know what I'm saying, and we want to be the best version of ourselves that we can. But sometimes we get caught and lost in this pursuit of happiness essentially, and we forget to foster the balance of the light and dark, I guess. And sometimes we just so dead set on being happy, being positive, that we forget to um, honor our more uncomfortable feelings. Yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens. You know what I'm saying? So today I want to share a journal entry where I read about this a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit more about the subject or the main idea of the journal entry. So in a way, it's gonna be a bit of me sharing a journal entry. We're gonna be talking about like a main idea, like what's the lesson, what's the takeaway for our future experiences, and then it's just gonna be a little bit of tea, if you will, a little bit of tea. Even though I'm trying my best not to describe it as tea, essentially to be a little bit more direct. I've been back in therapy since the top of this year. I haven't been in therapy for 3 years prior to this year. Really grateful to be back. The program that I'm part of, I get matched with intern therapists, and I work with one person for a few months and then get switched over to another intern therapist. You know what I'm saying? It's all free. Of course, there's pros and cons of it, but that's what my money can afford right now. Free. I just completed my time working with my second intern therapist in this program, and I've just been reflective of my time with this person. Of course, I have some takeaways, some really powerful tools that she has taught me, but I think overall I feel unsatisfied, and I just kind of want to talk about that. So I guess we should just get into let's just jump into it with the freaking journal entry. By the way, it's been a long time since I added a video to my journal revisit series, which huzzah, you know? I'm gonna skip some of these pages because for the front half I just talk about my day. I had a good day that day. I went to the beach, seen some animals, and I love animals. I love the beach. Like, I feel like I'm such a simple soul. I'm delighted by the simple things in life, like trees and nature and animals and shit, and people saying hi and good morning and shit. You know what I'm saying? Without further ado, let's jump into this journal entry. This journal entry is from August 5th, 2024. What the fuck? Um, this journal entry is from August 5th, 2026, and I titled this Unhealthy Empathy and Optimism. I wrote, something that's been heavy on my mind today and lately is my time with my last therapist. My last appointment with her was Monday, and since then, I'm realizing how I've truly been feeling about her care for the last few sessions. I'm finding that my habit of giving people the benefit of the doubt and being understanding and giving people grace causes me not to fully acknowledge my experiences or perceptions of things more often than I would like. It all started with her not acknowledging me whenever I mentioned autism. During our first few sessions, I mentioned that I suspected that I was on the spectrum for the past 3 years, and that was that. No questions, no comments, no concerns voiced by her. A few weeks later, I sent her a supplemental form for my evaluation. after I shared how happy I was to finally be starting the process and how Miss Tree fearmongered me from getting an evaluation, she immediately jumps in to give me advice, saying things like,
You are Cora with or without a diagnosis. Don't let the diagnosis, if it comes back positive, be an excuse for certain behaviors.
I'm gonna pause right there. So, y'all know Miss Tree. On this channel, y'all know Miss Tree. It's fuck Miss Tree. We don't fuck with her. We wish bad things on her as far as like losing her fucking license because she has no business, being a mental health counselor. I hope she knows she's going to hell. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even necessarily believe in hell. So that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you need more context after this video, you can check out another video that I have titled like something like Beware of BetterHelp. Even though the beef isn't necessarily with BetterHelp, but like low key, how the fuck they hired her not knowing the type of provider that she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does she get past, like, get through the hiring process? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, just want to give a little bit more context right there. Yes, Miss Tree was the second ever therapist that I ever worked with under BetterHelp. And as far as the fear mongering went, yes, I also brought up to her I suspected that I was on the spectrum and maybe had ADHD. And she fear mongered me saying things like,
Oh, you do show signs and traits of them, but honestly, if you do go get a diagnosis and the diagnosis comes back like positive, it will make your life a lot harder.
which is really confusing in hindsight because y'all know if you're autistic, you're autistic. Like, if anything, a diagnosis will make things make more sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's not going to change anything that's going on up here. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, or at least similar thing with ADHD. I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? It's good to fucking know, because that's just how your brain is going to be, regardless. You know what I'm saying? And then that's just so really fucking diabolical for you as a mental health counselor, a therapist, a social worker, to tell somebody like, don't basically essentially don't get a diagnosis because your life will be harder if there you have clinical proof and backing that you're autistic, because again, you're autistic with or without it. You know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that held me back from getting a diagnosis for a while, because I was just like scared. The fear mongering feared me. I don't know. When I finally was ready to look into it a few years after that session with Miss Tree, she said that it was really difficult for me to find a place that was, within that was pretty familiar to my wallet and that was credible, and that's basically it. Also, a lot of places that I reached out to, they did not do evaluations for adults, only children, which I feel like a lot of people have heard this idea. Also, when it comes to like autism, it's easier to get an evaluation and diagnosis or whatever need be when you're a child. Like, it's easier to tell when you're a child. As more research is being done, we're learning more about autism in adulthood, in late diagnosed autistic adults and whatnot. So yeah, I was really happy when a few years down the line, on a random fucking Wednesday afternoon or whatever day it was, I was sitting here at my desk. I wasn't even doing any research pertaining the topic, and I seen an ad on Prosper Health, and it was just like, hey, somebody told me he was looking for an evaluation. We do that. We take your insurance, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like really happy. Very spontaneous thing. But this is something that I've been wanting to look into seriously for like 3 years. And I've been taking notes on myself for 3 years. So I was just really excited that like it just seemingly fell in my lap. I had the money for it. And it seemed like Prosper Health was a company that I could trust and blah, blah, blah. So I was really happy, joyful about that opportunity. And also on top of that, reflecting about what Miss Tree was telling me and being able to say, like, I've moved past that fear that she planted into me, and coming to my then current therapist, um, talking to her about like how I'm happy about it. Like, I want you to do this supplemental form for more information, and not being met with any type of celebration or acknowledgement of like my hardships. It was, I guess, could I say disheartening? It's kind of like you're happy and somebody's like trying to like pin you down. It's just like, bro, like this is something to celebrate. What the fuck? And the advice just felt really random. And oh, I think this is a perfect place to pick back up. On one hand, I do understand, but ultimately, I feel that I feel that advice was so random, misdirected, and untimely. She didn't celebrate with me or open up a conversation about the fear mongering from my former therapist. Instead, it felt like she thought I was looking for some type of excuse for I don't even know what. Then, weeks later, when I shared my results with her, she seemed surprised and said I seemed high functioning as her reason for asking more details about my diagnosis. Again, she didn't celebrate with me. Instead, she showed signs of disregard and doubt before changing the subject. Yeah, when I told her, which I was very reluctant and I was procrastinating. I accidentally told her actually, I was actually telling her like more so about my week, ups and downs about my week. And it just kind of like was part of an up for my week. So that's how it kind of like accidentally came out. Because at that point, I had already felt that she that news wasn't going to be celebrated, essentially, and I felt like she was just not the person to open up about that, which really sucks because you're my therapist, bro. I should feel safe enough to share that information with you. Yeah, just like I wrote, I told her like I'm diagnosed with autism level 1, which we're gonna talk about that some more on this channel. I'm so excited. And she was just like,
Okay, okay. Do you have like more information on your diagnosis specifically? Like, what does it specifically say? Because you seem pretty high functioning to me.
and thank you. Thank you. I work hard to mask. I work very hard. But like seriously, what am I supposed to say to some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? It felt so disregarding. Like just because I seem normal or some shit like that. Like what are you trying to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Ugh. And then I also find it frustrating that like so many opportunities to talk about and open up this conversation regarding autism, right? Even when she was giving me the advice, I felt like that advice was a little bit off because you're trying to give me advice about a topic that you had plenty opportunities to open up about and to get to know me more about, but you're giving me advice on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even that type of person to try to be like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna go doing this and hurt somebody's feelings, and it's like, oh well, I'm autistic, so oh well, why the fuck would I do that? Like I genuinely don't know where she was coming from. It's so frustrating. Oh, you seem high functioning. So what exactly does the diagnosis say? The diagnosis says I'm fucking autistic, bitch. Pissing me off. And it's so and this is also what I'm talking about in general. You see, I just call her a bitch. Like honestly, I wouldn't say that to her face because I don't feel the purpose for it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you want to cuss somebody out, but you don't want to express your frustration or your anger in that way directly to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather cuss out my pillow and then come to you and speak calmly. You know what I'm saying? I think that I didn't give myself the permission, even in private, to talk crazy about this woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to be optimistic and shit like that. On top of that, it seemed like she had a kind heart and good intentions and stuff like that. So in my head, it's kind of like it's hard for me to categorize you like, are you a foe or are you a friend? Because I'm getting mixed signals and stuff like that. It's frustrating to me. It's frustrating, but whatever. Let me keep reading. It's just a journey of trying to figure out like what the fuck this all means and how I want to go about it for myself and blah blah blah. So I think this is a nice time to pick back up where I left off. Not to mention on her supplemental form, by the way, supplemental form, if you don't know, is like a survey that you send to people that knows you, people that know you to give more information for your evaluation. So this is a form I sent to her and she's just supposed to share things that she's noticed about me. And then the doctor that is evaluating me would review her survey or her form or whatever and use that as evidence that I am autistic or not, basically. Does that make sense? Let's continue. Not to mention, on her supplemental form, she was basically implying that any signs of autism she noticed were, in her opinion, not rooted in autism but in childhood trauma. I mask a lot, especially in our sessions, so I didn't expect her to provide much info for my evaluation. But that shit felt like sabotage to me, especially now because I spoke to her about how I felt dismissed. All right, that will make more sense later. Yeah, she thought that certain things that she was seeing like in our sessions were rooted in childhood trauma and shit like that. Like she mentioned on her supplemental form that she seen me blowing bubbles for like self-soothing. Her interpretation of that is that because like it's a trauma response. It's a trauma response that I like to blow bubbles. And then again, this is something that she's never. First of all, I didn't even know she seen me blow them fucking bubbles because she said, "Oh, give me a second. My dog's barking. I gotta go handle that. Put the camera off." And then I took a time. I took some moments to blow me some bubbles. You feel me? So why the fuck you knew I was blowing bubbles if you was so called helping your dog over there? You know what I'm saying? That's literally so unrelated to the topic, but I just wanted to mention that because it was funny, low key. Again, that's something that we did not talk about 101. If she seen me blowing those bubbles and she suspected that it was a trauma response, why not ask me, like,
Hey Cora, like I have noticed that you were blowing bubbles. Like, what does it do for you? When did you start doing that? Why do you like it?
you know what I'm saying? Ask me questions instead of fucking assuming that I'm just so fucking traumatized that I just decided to blow bubbles. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? OMG, bro. Gosh. Let's continue. She seemed like she was eager to learn. She apologized many times. But later, she said she didn't believe in labels. Crazy to say as a therapist. Crazy to say. Oh, let's continue. She said she didn't believe in labels referring to autism. So, in my head, it makes sense that she might have even subconsciously answered her supplemental form in her favor rather than for my benefit and ultimate clarity for my life experiences. That was our second to last session together, so I didn't even bother asking for clarification on why autistic was just a label to her. I was done at that point. Okay, let's rewind real quick. She told me she didn't believe in labels. This is something that I kind of knew because, and here's the gag, me and my boyfriend, we have the same fucking therapist. And before the situation got to this point, I was venting to my boyfriend, and he was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense because she told me she doesn't believe in labels." So I kind of knew that before she said that to me. And the reason she told him that is because he was talking to her about ADHD for himself, suspecting that. And similar things, she kind of dismissed it and was treating it exactly how she sees it as just a label, and it's not just a label. It's just really interesting why she views it that way. Like I could sense that something was missing. You know what I'm saying? Something was missing here. Like there's some type of gap in knowledge or gap in understanding or whatever the fuck it be. Like I was sensing that. And I guess a little bit more context is again something that my boyfriend told me that she told him, which I feel like it would have benefited me more that she told me because I'm asking you like what the fuck. She works with a lot of like drug addicts, and for her it's really important that people don't tie themselves to labels. And I'm like, okay, I can understand a little bit better, but you're comparing somebody addicted to cocaine to somebody with autism. That is not the fucking same thing. Bro, like I can understand how that could be very empowering. You are not an alcoholic, you are not a druggie, you are Jason, or you are Catherine. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you can separate from yourself. That's a habit that has been developed and you can rewind it. You know what I'm saying? And like take a better grasp and hold of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Something like autism or ADHD, something that you were born with that determines that your brain works differently. That's not something you can separate from yourself. And I understand people like to have person first and identity first um, descriptions when it comes to like autism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have autism versus I am autistic. You know what I'm saying? All rights to you, all power to you. However, in this case, you gotta acknowledge autism is the way that your brain filters your reality. It is a big fat ass filter for your reality. You cannot compare that to the way that people become addicts. You know what I'm saying? Different situations. And then even if you even wanted to introduce the nuance to it, which I can always appreciate, just ask the client. And that's the thing, that was my biggest issue. Why are you not opening up a conversation about it? I bring it up. Oh, I think I have autism. She's just like, oh, okay, let's talk about what I had planned for today. Okay, don't talk about anything, right? Weeks later, I introduced the supplemental. Can you do this form for me? I'm getting evaluated for autism. Okay, just don't use it as an excuse for your behaviors. What the fuck? What the fuck, Larry? What the fuck is going on? Two major opportunities to put whatever the fuck she has. Hey guys, my phone just ran out of space. I forgot what I was last talking about. I just remember being frustrated, getting a little bit passionate about the fact that she just so many opportunities to ask more questions and to learn more, but they were missed. Let's continue. In addition to giving the benefit of the doubt, I can also see how me trying to be optimistic dilutes my true thoughts and feelings about situations like this one. When I mentioned how I felt about her responses or lack thereof, I was mostly proud of myself for advocating for me and grateful that the conversation went fairly well, meaning that my truth wasn't blatantly met with, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I did nothing wrong. What about this random and unrelated thing you did for once? Because it happens a lot for me, unfortunately, and it gives me a lot of social trauma. And admittedly, there's nothing wrong with being grateful for that. But that's so bottom of the barrel, bare minimum. It so is. Oh my gosh, I'm sick of it. Not deflecting and actually taking accountability is as bare as the minimum gets. So it makes sense to me that after the feeling of success washes away after a few days, I'm left feeling betrayed and dismissed once again. What I'm doing for myself now is just sitting with the aftermath, processing my feelings, all of them, and making a plan on how to prevent having a client provider relationship like this in the future. I'm also leading into my new Discord community for support around the matter, thanks to Prosper Health. My hand is tired, but my mind feels a bit lighter, so thank you for showing up. I love you lots, Corey J. All right, that's the end of the journal entry, but let's refocus on the main idea of this video. I think that I'm still learning how to handle my anger and my frustration in healthy ways, and sometimes on the spot. Like I had written down, for the most part, I was happy that I had advocated for myself, because in situations like that, I usually would not say anything, especially if it was near the ending of our time together. Because at that point, when I had said something, it was our like third to last session together. So I only got to see you like three more times after this. I might as well not even say something, anything, and just bring it into the next session with my next therapist. You know what I'm saying? But this time around, I was like, you know what? Let me get out of my comfort zone. I want to try something different. Like, what happens if I do something differently instead of just walking away without saying anything? So it was very liberating, very empowering for me to speak up for myself, even if I didn't go into much detail as I probably should have. I wrote a whole script out and everything. I put the script into the Discord community and got feedback on it. And when I read the script to my therapist, man, I was shaking. I was shaking, and I was just so fucking nervous because I want to say most of my experiences coming to somebody and being like, hey, I just didn't like how you said that, or I didn't like how you treated me the other day. You know what I'm saying? It has led to something tragic happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, somebody will just blatantly be like, "Oh, I didn't say that. Oh, that didn't happen." You know, or I've lost two friends by doing that. Just speaking out for myself. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes people get irate. Sometimes people feel overly like shameful or guilty, and then it's like kind of your job to kind of make them feel better and comfort them and tell them like, oh no, it's okay, like I forgive you, and it's just like it's just so fucking exhausting, bro. Essentially, like anytime that I've spoke up for myself, letting somebody know like what they said or did hurt me, most of the time been bad. It's been bad and it's blown up, and yeah, that means that maybe those people are not meant to be in my life. Unfortunately, sometimes those are people that you kind of have no choice in being in your life at that time or moment. So yeah, that's really why I was so fucking nervous, and that's why I was grateful that she wasn't just blatantly like, oh, I never said that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a big moment for me. But I think that in my script, I could have honored my stronger emotions a little bit more by specifically detailing what she said that bothered me instead of just focusing on, you haven't been asking me more questions about this. I can tell that you've been kind of avoiding this conversation. That's basically where I left it. I didn't specifically mention when she gave me the advice, or I didn't specifically mention when she had like that kind of slick remark of, oh, you seem high functioning. And I kind of, in hindsight, wish that I did, but at the same time, I do have to give myself a round of applause for saying anything. You know what I'm saying? I think that just for if it happens next time and is very needed, I think that I'll feel more confident in being straight up like, you said this, you said that, it made me feel like this, so like let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this whole thing of like, that didn't make any fucking sense, blah 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 blah. But that's more so how I genuinely feel. Like I want to cuss you out, but I just, that's not part of my character. Like I don't feel like that's reasonable, but that's how I feel. I think that maybe I could bring up specifics if it happens again, and also be transparent about like, if you still acting fucking stupid, I gotta tell you, I'm feeling irate right now, and we should end this call right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I guess for me, it's this push and pull between like honoring my feelings and still moving like in alignment with my values type of thing. Like I don't necessarily believe in getting irate and cussing somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Even if the disrespect was at like a fucking 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that for myself. I'd rather just walk away. But I still want to be direct and firm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I don't necessarily have to hide the fact that I'm being angry or that I'm getting kind of angry and frustrated, just to blatantly say like, okay, you're frustrating me. You're frustrating me. Yeah. And I think I need a moment. Um, I'll text you later and I'll see you for our next session. But I think today I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like a, okay, so you see how you acting fucking stupid right now? Why would you ask me that question? Like, why are you acting like you don't know what I'm? Don't have to go that way, even though that's how I'm feeling. I guess a good example for this is like immediately after reading her script. Which should I read y'all my script? Gee, wait, I'll read y'all my script. I wrote it in here, right? Wait. Oh wait, I did not write it in there. I did not write it in my notes app. Okay, so this is the script that I read her. To start the session, I want to talk about something that has been difficult for me to bring up. I noticed when I've brought up autism, you don't ask me further questions like you usually do. Instead, you basically just dismiss it. I kind of get the sense that you don't believe in my diagnosis, or maybe your understanding of autism doesn't align with what you're observing from me, which in that case, I can understand because I mask a lot in our sessions. Overall, it makes me feel disregarded. I trust Black women are more prone to be overlooked in healthcare in a general sense. So I also feel myself just being another statistic. It triggers me because unfortunately, in most of my experiences of getting myself help, I've been neglected in some way. Like I've had a previous social worker imply I couldn't be depressed because my room looks clean. Yes, that's Miss Tree. If you were guessing, that was Miss Tree. Yeah, her bitch ass. Ooh, ooh. I've also had a primary care doctor look in my ear, tell me it looks fine, so I'm fine. That was 3 years ago, and I still have those symptoms of a tickling feeling leading to a sharp sensation in my ear. I've been trying to resolve it on my own because it's honestly humiliating when providers would use what they what they are seeing on the outside as a reason to ignore what I'm actually telling them about my experience. Then I have to walk away with more weight than what I walked in with because they aren't listening to me or inquiring more information. And that's frustrating. I actually think that I skipped past the primary care part and just jumped back into, oh, it's frustrating. You know, I don't want to walk away from our time together with this emotion on me. So I wanted to use this session as an opportunity to advocate for myself by asking, when I've brought up autism, is there any particular reason you've responded in the ways you have or have not asked me further questions? That was the script. I skipped a little bit of it, but for the most part, that's what I said to her, right? Immediately after, she says,
Were you looking for validation?
and that was one of those moments where, like, I feel like you playing with me and I feel like you want me to get irate. I feel like you want me to cuss you out because what the fuck are you asking me right now? But I had to keep it chill. I had to keep it cool, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, validation. No, but I just wanted you to talk about it, which I did mention in the script. Another thing about me, I hate repeating myself. Especially when I'm so fucking straightforward about what I'm asking you. I mentioned it in the script. You don't ask me more questions. You don't open up the conversation. Why? Why? First thing you ask me, do I want validation? What the hell are we talking about right now? And then, like, sure, fuck it. You're my therapist. Give me validation. If I mention, like, my last therapist said some fuck shit to me, tell me that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What? Don't just sit there and act like it was nothing. Like, that's like somebody like, oh, my fucking dog died, bro, and you're just like, oh man, so you want to go get pizza? Like, nigga, what? Console me, comfort me, validate me? I don't know. That's the first thing you say too. If you needed a moment, you could have just said like, okay, I'm taking it all in. Just give me a few moments. I would have gave it to you because I needed a few moments too, girl. I was shaking. I was nervous. So I would have appreciated them few moments. You know what I'm saying? It's just stuff like that just really confuses me. I also get a lot of anxiety in social situations. So at this point, I'm already fucking paranoid. Like in my head, I'm thinking like, this lady thinks I'm trying to LARP or cosplay as autism or as autistic. Maybe in her head, she's thinking like, oh, how did she get past the evaluation? Like, how, you know, because I already told y'all she thought it, like what she was seeing was more so because of trauma, like blowing bubbles. Blowing bubbles as a trauma response. Honestly, you know what you're talking about. I can't lie, but I'm just like, we literally never spoke about it. So why would you assume that was just trauma? What? Hmm. That's some Luton bourbon. Bro, sometimes I'll be drinking, or not even drinking. I'll say that so randomly, but people don't understand where it came from. And now I'm watching BoJack Horseman all over again, but with my brother this time. And I'm like pointing out the clips that I get certain things from, like, oh, that's some Guten bourbon, or good horsey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. I say it out of context and for random shit. Like, it makes more sense for me to say Guten bourbon while I'm drinking like some type of alcohol, but sometimes the gluten bourbon in question is not bourbon. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I think that's all that I wanted to talk to y'all about. Just that whole situation with my therapist. I was talking to my Discord community about it, and somebody said something that like it really means a lot to me. Not saying that I really needed it, but I like the way that they worded it because it's just so many ways to say like you deserve the best or you deserve more. Like keep that in mind. Like you are important. So many ways to say that because there's so many situations. But the person, one of the people that responded to me, basically said your mental health is too important to be with a therapist that doesn't know how to help you. And I was like, you know what? You're so fucking right. Good thing I was being very intentional about how I was handling this whole thing, but I am definitely taking that to heart as I move forward and work with different types of people, and just keeping that in mind, like, man, especially when I get to a point where I can actually afford therapy and this is like a monetary investment, like just keeping that in mind, like if this person doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, maybe it's nothing against them as a therapist entirely. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it might not be something that I feel like I have to email the company about, but you just not the right person for me, and that's simple as that. Therapy sometimes feels like dating, bro. Like you're just jumping around trying to find somebody that works for you. It's just a lot. But yeah, really grateful that she said that to me. Just kind of like put it in perspective, like, yeah, I'm not stuck with this person, or not even with this person, but excuse me, even in the future, I'm not stuck with one person. And there is sometimes an obvious tip that lets you know, like, this person is not skilled or does not have the experience needed to help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. This also goes hand in hand with what the doctor was telling me, the doctor that evaluated me. She, gave some grace, and she was like, it's very common thing pertaining like autism, like people in general, but also unfortunately like therapists or mental health counselors, um, they lack the knowledge to deal with autistic people, especially late diagnosed autistic adults. They don't have it. They don't have the skill. You know what I'm saying? Especially like somebody that's an intern right now. Maybe in a few years, the situation will be different, but there is this very broad gap between what many therapists can provide and what autistic adults need, essentially. The doctor that evaluated me, I searched her up and I found her fucking dissertation, and that's basically what her dissertation was about. Like that gap of understanding, like what the autistic adult needs in therapy and what therapists are able to give them. It's two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of autistic adults leave their therapy sessions long term feeling unsatisfied or feeling like they were misunderstood. Um, and the therapists feel like they did a great job. It's really interesting. Grateful that I kind of like got that summary from her dissertation. Also, in my Discord community, somebody else responded to my story saying they had a similar situation where they were they revealed, not revealed like it's a fucking magic trick, whatever, but they shared that they were like recently diagnosed to their therapist, and their therapist was just like, oh, okay, um how's life been lately, and kind of like dismissed them or didn't open up the conversation or didn't feel it was important. Oh, that's another thing. Oh my god, let me finish one thought. um but that's all that they didn't really get acknowledgement for it. And she said like a year or something later, that therapist reached out to her and told her like, oh my gosh, so happy that I got in touch with you. I apologize for that time that you told me you were like autistic and I didn't like say anything, or like I didn't, you know, invite you to talk about it, or I didn't know how to help you or support you. You know what I'm saying? Like I was ignorant. And now I know so much more. I did research, I read books, you know what I'm saying? And I've worked with other autistic adults, and I just wish that I was able to give you that. And I'm genuinely happy for that person, and I'm grateful that they shared that story in the Discord chat, because it just gives me hope that people genuinely want to learn. Like therapists want to learn 9 times out of 10, and that gave me a lot more confidence to actually read my script to my therapist. I was genuinely happy for that person, because I can only imagine, like, imagine somebody that really did you wrong, and you've been fucking ruminating on that shit, like you've been hurt by that shit, you know what I'm saying, for a long time, and then one random day you get like an email or a text message from them apologizing and acknowledging, taking accountability for the hurt that they caused you. I wish that was me. I wish, but really grateful for that person, happy for that person. And honestly, I'm going to feed off of that joy that they had because that's good enough for me for now. My therapist explained the reason why she never opened up the conversation regarding autism was because we had limited time together. Like I said, like I worked with an intern therapist for a few weeks and then I got switched to the next person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, time was limited and she did not see how it correlated with anything that she had in mind to talk about, which is really fucking crazy to say because again, autism, like it's all neurological. It has to do with everything. Everything. You know what I'm saying? She did acknowledge that, and I appreciate her making that acknowledgement. But then the next session, then she gonna talk about some. Oh, I just don't believe in labels. So it just cancels out. It just cancels out. I don't know. It all fucking confuses me back with the friend versus foe thing. Like you saying friendly shit, like you apologize, I didn't mean to, that was my intent, that wasn't my intentions and stuff like that. But you also say stuff like I just don't believe in labels. And now my brain is struggling trying to put you in a category, but it's like you really fit in this category of foe, but you kind of look like and sound like a friend in a way, but like really, you really a foe, but in friend clothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but whatever. Try not to stress about it too bad. Now I'm pretty sure that is everything. If anything else comes up, I'm just gonna put it in the fucking description box because I feel like this video is long enough and this is enough yapping. Oh my gosh, that was fucking lot. I want to tell y'all this right now. This is why it's been so long since I last posted because it's just so many things. And I have this need to organize things and put things into categories and make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, you know what? If a yap session is in order, a yap session is in order. Okay. And then that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I also be worried about like, oh, people don't want to watch. People don't know me enough to watch a long ass video by me. And it's just like, girl, fuck it. Fuck it. Post that shit. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking it and I'm posting it. I think that's all. Is that all? Yeah, I think that's all. Again, if anything else comes up, I'll just put it in the description. Y'all don't forget to fucking like this video and comment if you relate in any way, any tips. If you're also a more reserved person, a person that doesn't like to, blow up on people, doesn't have like to react out of frustration. Give me some tips, like what helps you, any resources, just talk to me in the comments. Okay, talk to me nice. And of course, if this was your vibe, please do subscribe. I will try my best to see y'all next week Tuesday, but until then, I'm just gonna talk to y'all later. Peace. Bye.